Why does everybody want to look all wet? This video will analyze the art history and archetypes behind the wet girl look spotted on Megan Fox, Kim Kardashian, and Katy Perry. I actually tried to pull this look off, and I am here to report that it's very uncomfortable to do in real life. So why is this look so popular, and what might it represent in our culture? So where does this wet look come from? My biggest fashion touchstone for the wet girl look is the 2003 Alexander McQueen show, I Rear. I Rear is a 3-act fashion show that follows a colonist on a voyage to Brazil. On her way, she falls off her ship and becomes reincarnated as a tropical bird. Acts 1 and 2 give us a lot of context for the wet looks we're seeing today. Katie's gauzy, disintegrating gown really harkens back to the oyster gown, which Kim also wore to the Vanity Fair Oscar party in 2020. Notice the wet look of her hair. The Alexander McQueen show features rebirth and exploration, two key elements of the modern wet girl look. McQueen's spring-summer show made huge waves in the fashion world. From 2003 to 2005, we got lots of wet looks. I'm calling out this iconic advert for Davidoff Cool Water fragrance from 2004, where I dare say the look is achieved with actual water. And there was a dewy skin trend that swept the summer of 2004. It totally helped that the biggest movie of that summer was Pirates of the Caribbean, which begins with a literal shipwreck. The whole point of the wet girl look is to look wet. But why is it so sexy to look like you've just been pulled out of the ocean? I think the wet girl look plays into 3 main archetypes: the damsel in distress at a shipwreck, the sea siren, and the concept of rebirth. When you picture a shipwreck, you might picture someone vulnerable and scared, like that hot girl you rescued from a floating piece of driftwood. For example, this one in the painting Adieu by Alfred Guillou. This damsel is not only in distress, she's dead. The bearded man in the rowboat bids his love adieu as he lets her return to the sea. Notice the woman's hair and dress. Her hair looks slicked back and dripping wet because she's obviously in the water. She wears the gauzy remnants of a dress, and the sailor holds her dress up, suggesting he's virtuous and that she would be naked without him. The dramatic painting highlights the dynamic between the man and the woman. He is here to save her, but he is too late. This gauzy, disintegrating dress looks not unlike Katy Perry's red carpet look with its asymmetry and its shaggy fabric. The look is very shipwreck. We can see a rescued damsel in distress archetype in these Megan Fox photos. Megan is usually pretty coupley with Machine Gun Kelly, but this wet look makes her look especially vulnerable. Megan's nude dress and nude makeup add intimacy to these red carpet poses, especially compared with Machine Gun Kelly's red suit and towering height. I think Megan's look is very damsel in distress. Ladies in the water can also make us think of sirens or mermaids. Let's look at Ulysses and the Sirens by Gustave Moreau. This oil painting depicts a scene from Greek mythology's The Odyssey. In this scene, sirens lure sailors to their deaths with their seductive songs and alluring beauty. The sirens in the story represent the feminine mystique, seduction, and danger. The sirens in this painting lie in the bottom right corner, making them the last thing you see as your eye moves across the canvas. The ship occupies most of the canvas, but the sirens stand out. That's because the sirens' bright white bodies contrast against the dark colors of the painting. The muddy masculine ship fades into the background because of its low contrast, even though it's much larger. There's also the iconic Hylas and the Water Nymphs by John William Waterhouse. In this painting, the enrobed Hylas is surrounded by 7 beckoning naiads, or water nymphs. All the ladies in these paintings are naked. Sirens are often painted nude, but although they are naked, sirens are powerful. Nudity, or the suggestion of nudity, plays a huge part in all 3 of these red carpet looks. Megan wears a naked see-through dress. Kim wears the wet dress sculpted to her body, and Katie shows lots of glistening skin. All these looks are designed to emulate fabric clinging to the body as if wet. These looks accentuate the power of the female form by clinging especially to the hips and chest. Water can also represent baptism, and baptism represents rebirth. But as we've discussed, these looks are not achieved with water. They're achieved with oil, gel, or, for lack of a better word, slime. For this art history reference, I'm using Lady Gaga and her egg. This incredibly intense Grammys stunt involved Lady Gaga incubating in an egg and emerging from the egg on stage. Her egg bearers wore nude latex costumes. Gaga herself was not wet when she emerged from the egg, but the symbolism mimicked her music video for Born This Way, which took birthing very literally. The video is positively amniotic. Born This Way and the egg stunt represented Gaga's transition from pop star to performance artist. I'm particularly taken by the fact that Megan, Kim, and Katie are all women in or approaching their 40s. I really like the idea of a rebirth in your 40s. The skin-like costumes and molting fabric suggest skin ready to be shed. What do you think of the wet look? I actually tried to recreate Megan Fox's hairstyle and found someone who tried to do this by saturating her hair with water-based lube, which I did not try. I did eventually find a version of this look from the product page of Angie Fitzsimmons, who did Megan's hair at the VMAs. I gotta say, it's one of the stickier and more uncomfortable ways of wearing your hair, and I ended up not wearing it out. But something about the sheer maintenance and discomfort of this look makes me see it especially as a strong statement. Out of all these looks, I think Megan's is my favorite and Katie's is my least favorite just because it seems so unauthentic for her. But what do you think? Is the wet look hot or not? Leave your answer in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my quaint little analysis. See you next time. Cheers.